What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of my Elden Ring Quick Platinum Guide. We're about 6-ish hours into this playthrough, and we're getting towards the end, actually, so we're making some good progress here. What we're going to do now is we're going to go back to the capital. We're going to go to this area here. That's going to get us to the Grand Lift of Rold, which is going to take us to the Forbidden Lands. I think the best site of grace for us to warp to is going to be here at the Avenue Balcony. And, we're going to get to the snowy area of the game. So what we want to do here is go up top of these stairs. The Erdtree avatar is probably going to drop down on us or near us. But as we did before, we're going to run away from it. It might try to shoot stuff at us. We'll see. It looks like we're in the clear. So we're just running back. Just follow this kind of main street here in the capital. You'll get to these double doors that are locked. And this is our pathway to the Forbidden Lands. So there's going to be a bunch of enemies around here. Most of them are going to be misbegotten warriors. Or misbegotten type enemies. The warriors are the big ones. There are a couple of them down here. We might run into one of them. But for the most part, we're going to run past everything. Pick up this item just because it's on the way. Not worth much to us. And yeah, there is a couple of the larger misbegottens over there. But what we're interested in here, we're going to hang a left. This door does not open until after you beat Morgott. So now we can go up this elevator, pull the lever to bring it up. And nobody followed us onto the elevator itself, so we're going to leave everybody behind. And I'll throw on my lantern for good measure, because why not? All right, once we're at the top, got to make a little bit of a trek here. And we're going to grab this talisman. Flame Drake Talisman. I'm not really planning on using it at all, but wouldn't hurt to have. And unfortunately, we cannot summon our horse. This enemy happens to be on horseback, but not much of a threat as long as you stay running. It'd be awesome if we could summon our own horse, but we can't. Oh well, it is what it is. Just make sure you're not about to get stabbed. Even if you do get hit by this guy, it's not really going to do a huge amount of damage. Okay, he seemed to de-aggroed from us, so straight up here we got another elevator. This one's going to take us down. Once we get down to the bottom, we will be at the Forbidden Lands. Here we go, straight ahead. Make sure you get this site of grace right here. We're going to be warping back to it later. And mount your horse. So where we're headed, we're basically just following this main pathway. There's going to be a gold seed right around here. But really, we're just following this main path. We're not going to deviate much from it. Ignore the small enemies. They're called Vulgar Militia. That's their official name. Not my favorite enemy in the game. They are kind of annoying. Just because they're small and hard to hit. Alright, so jump across here. Jump across here. Keep going. We should be coming up on the gold seed kind of soonish. See how close my beacon was. There's the gold seed. The beacon off to the side a little bit. It's over there. That's okay. Alright, stay on this main path. And a giant gargoyle is going to come down to fight. Not interested in fighting the Black Blade Kindred. He does not give us a trophy, so we're going to run right past him. What we do want to get, though, is this Site of Grace right here. And if we rest at it, it's going to reset the Gargoyle's position as well. He might follow us in here, but there we go. Rest. That'll reset him. Okay, so after we talked to Melina, after fighting... or Melina, I think her name. I forget what her name is. Anyway, after killing Morgott, she gave us the rolled medallion that we can use to take this grand lift up to the Mountaintop of the Giants is where we're headed next. The next major area of the game. And so you'll see we do not have the map, but the map is really close. And it's going to unlock kind of a small sliver of this area. There we go, we got it. Unlock this grace for good measure. So where we are headed next is across this narrow bridge, but to get there we kind of got to go around this way, and then kind of go around up here, and then go sort of around this plateau, and then this is kind of what we're going to head down to get to this other side here. It is a bit of a journey, but we will enjoy ourselves along the way. These enemies are tough. I mean, it's basically what was once a mini boss that we fought earlier in this playthrough is now turned into a regular enemy in that specific place of ruins, that site of ruins, whatever you want to call it, over there. So I'm running right past them. Head up here. Just kind of following the main route. Keep to the right hand side. Keep the cliff on your right, I guess you could say. So there's the bridge that we marked off. Run past all these enemies. Now there's a giant golem sniper across from us, and he's going to start shooting arrows at us as we get closer to the other side. But there is a way that you can use sort of the features of these rocks on this bridge to your advantage to block his arrows, and I'll show you what I mean. So keep an eye on him. Look for when he's about to fire an arrow at you. He hasn't even... now he's starting to draw his arrow back, but they're great arrows, so it takes him a good while. So jump over here, and then like hide behind this thing, wait for him to fire, and it's not going to hit you because it's blocked. So now just run straight to him. And he should miss in a second shot. If he hits you, it's not going to be a one shot, so don't be too terribly worried about it. So we're just going to head straight up this path here. There's a grace over here that will unlock. Not necessarily rest at, but we'll unlock it. Okay, so right here, there's going to be a fork. We're going to take a right, and then right around here is going to be a golden seed. And I'm going to clear the beacon that we have over here. That was where the map fragment was, I think. So, straight ahead. And we're going to hang a right and get to that golden seed. So this is the right that we're making. And just ignore all the enemies as we've been doing. Another giant golem. This one's got the axe. There's our marker. We're going to run right past it, get our golden seed, and then hook back around. There we go. And now where we want to go is we're going to go straight past here. We're going to veer off to the right, head up this little hill. There's going to be another site of grace that we unlock. Right in front of us. And let me get to my map. No, it will not. So I'm going to rest at the Grace just so I can get to my map. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head up around here, get to this kind of upper area, and then we're going to head all the way down here until we can get to here. This is Castle Sol. This is our next major destination. There is a legendary weapon we're going to pick up in Castle Sol. There is also a boss we're going to kill in Castle Sol for a trophy. And then finally, we're going to get the second half of the Erdtree medallion, which is going to get us to a secret area in the game a little bit later. Not in this episode, but we'll get there maybe in the next episode or the one after that. Into the secret area of the map. So I'm just kind of using these beacons as a guide to get to the castle. If you were to go directly to our right, we would see the castle, but there's a giant cliff that we can't really drop down. It's too far. Yeah, there it is. It's too far of a drop down from right here, though, so we have to go down a ways before we can actually get there. Ignore these giant skeletons that spawn as best you can. Here's where we're going to turn off to hopefully drop down. Okay, so here we can drop down. There's going to be a boss that spawns right around here. Ignore it. It's actually a pretty tough boss. It's a deathrite bird. Very deadly. We ain't going to fight it. So this thing, giant thing in front of us is known as a mausoleum. Or mausoleum, I guess would be the right way to say that word. So you see around its legs, it has these little pustules. If you break enough of those off of its legs, it's going to sit down. If you go inside of it after it sits down, you can actually duplicate one of your remembrances. So if there's one that you sold already that you want, let's say you sold the blasphemous one and you want to get the blasphemous blade, you can go inside of that once you knock it down, and you can duplicate that remembrance and then take it back to Round Table Hold and then get the weapon that you want. So run straight through here, run straight past these giant wolf things, go up this staircase and they won't be able to get you. Hang a left, go up this staircase. Run past all this. Hang a right. I believe there's going to be an enemy in here. Maybe not. Okay. So now our next destination is straight ahead. There's going to be a pretty tough enemy up here known as a Bandit Knight. This one right ahead of us. I'm not going to fight it, but what I am going to do is turn left and get this site of grace. If it follows us in here and kills us, not a big deal, because if we die, we're just going to respawn right here by the site of grace that we just unlocked. So I'm going to take an intentional death here. And we're going to respawn right here. And the enemies are going to return to their original location, which will allow us to proceed without any trouble. Okay, let's grab our runes, and we're good to go. I'm going to put my lantern back on, hang a left, and at the end here, we're going to get the Eclipse Shotel, which is a legendary weapon that we have. Number 7 of 9 for us. So in this room, very tricky. Make sure you stop right about here. Take out your bow. Shoot this guy in the head, because if you run past him, or no, it's this guy up here in the chair, rather. If you run past him without killing him, he will summon a bunch of enemies. And so we're going to go ahead and take him out. And even though we're shooting him, he doesn't care. All that he cares is if you run past him without getting rid of him. Just go straight up these stairs. If you go down to where he fell down, there's actually going to be some enemies that pop out, so just be careful. There's another one of these guys hanging right here. You see his face. Shoot him right in the face. Take him out. Don't pass right by him, otherwise he'll summon his phantoms. Here we go. We're all set. Okay, so if you trigger this elevator here to your left, this kind of functions as a shortcut if you die to the boss. So go ahead and bring that down. You see there's the mausoleum, whatever it's called. And If you run straight there, that's the entrance of Castle Sol. You run straight back, you get that elevator, come up here to the boss. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pop my Flask of Wondrous Physic, summon my Mimic right when I get inside. Now, this boss summons his own enemies. If you kill both of the summons right away, he will automatically phase shift into his second phase. So I suggest killing one of these phantoms, letting Mimic kind of just fight the second one by itself and distract the aggro for a while you take care of the boss. And the boss will also switch phases at about half HP, but it's an automatic phase shift if you kill both of his summons. So I don't recommend killing both of his summons right away, especially if your Mimic is just aggroing one of them by itself. He has some big, beefy, wide-range AoEs, but after doing that, it kind of wears him out, so he needs to take a breather. But in a second phase, he gets some lightning-based attacks, which can be a bit of a doozy. I think Mimic may have killed the second Phantom, so he's probably going to phase shift any second now. There we go. He just phase shifted. You see the lightning. And you know that he's phase shifted because once he gets the lightning, that means he's in a second phase. So now he's after my Mimic. So just kind of bum rush him, especially while his attention's distracted. Just got a stagger on him, so going to get the critical. And a blue flask while he gets back up. Just got whacked, but that's okay. Now he's back on Mimic. Mimic is struggling a little bit here. He's almost dead, but hopefully we'll end this fight before he dies, or at least if he dies shortly after he dies. All right, he's... Oh, Mimic killed him. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so we got the trophy here. And a decent chunk of runes. So what we need to do now is, now that we've killed him, head past his boss room, take a right, go up this elevator, and there's going to be a treasure chest where we get the second half of the Erdtree medallion, which we're not going to use right away, but we will be using it later for sure. And this is a requirement because there are trophies that depend on you having this Erdtree medallion. So if you go to our inventory, our key items, we should have both halves of the Erdtree secret medallion. Perfect. So what we're going to do now is we're going to warp back to this Grace that we unlocked, and then we're going to head to here next. This is going to take us to our final legendary spell. So after getting this spell, we're actually going to pop the achievement for getting all legendary spells. So we're going to kind of go the same way that we went to get to Castle Sol, which we just were. Head to the beacon that we placed down. This part is a little bit tricky because there's an invisible bridge that we have to follow, but there's kind of a trick to crossing it, and I'm going to show you that trick. So head over here, and what you can do is, this is an invisible bridge, but what you want to do is just head straight down, and you'll be okay. So you see how there's kind of right in front of us, there's that brick wall, and there's a column right there and a column right there. As long as you stay between these two columns, you're safe. But the thing that's tricky is that there's a spot that kind of curves off to the left that takes you up there, which is how you get in here. You can't go through the front door because the front door is locked. So the way you can tell where the turn is you can fire arrows. You see how that arrow is kind of stuck? That tells us that this is where the path is. So if your arrow sticks, that means that it's safe to walk where that arrow is. And you can also see how it's very, very difficult to tell, but you see kind of right where I'm standing, you see that kind of cloudy shimmer. That's basically, it's the snow falling on this secret bridge. And so that snow, like that shimmer where the snow falls, that sort of cloudy mist also kind of shows you where the path is. You see it kind of curves. It's going to curve around up there. And I'm firing my arrows. My arrows, they're sticking, so I see that this is the safe path. You see where it gets cloudier and cloudier, the more snow that falls on top of it. This kind of gets us up here. So I don't think I need to fire any more arrows. I can go straight up. There's going to be enemies that fight you right when you get here, so take them out. So he's kind of spazzing out. That's a nasty combo if that hits you for every single one of those hits. There we go. Go up these stairs. And as with all of these other towers, there's an elevator. There's another enemy on these stairs. Take him out. You don't want to get pushed off. So in here we have a treasure chest. This should be our last legendary spell. There we go. We got the legendary sorceries and incantations trophy from Founding Reign of Stars. Perfect. So we got all of the legendary spells. So now we're just going to retrace our steps, kind of go back down. We're going to go all the way to the bottom. Because you cross this bridge, now we're on the other side of this chasm. And kind of straight down, right around here-ish, there's a site of grace that we're going to unlock as soon as we get out of here. I'm going to heal up just for safety. There's going to be another enemy in here that wants to fight us. I'm not going to concern myself with it. And I'm just going to get on my horse. And there's more of these balloon guys up here that you can shoot down with your arrows. For some free runes. These ones give you golden rune 12s. Very, very nice. There's a third one. Go. If you need more arrows at any point, the merchant at the Church of Ella at the very beginning of the game sells them. All right, let's see how close my beacon was to the site of grace. Pretty dang close. I'll take that as a win. So we're going to dismount right here, get our site of grace. And then what we're going to do is we're going to head kind of directly due east. I don't want to place a beacon, but we're going to head directly due east. And there's going to be a church with a site of grace. And then the next bell bearing that's going to allow us to purchase more somber stones from the merchant at Round Table Hold. So currently we can purchase 1s and 2s from EG. And we can purchase 3s and 4s from the merchant at Round Table Hold. This will allow us to purchase 5s and 6s, I believe. In case there's some other weapons you want to play with that use the somber stones for upgrades. All right, here we go. Here is the bell bearing and our sacred tier. And I'll use this as an opportunity to go back to Round Table Hold. And we can sell all of our runes, level up, and give the merchant here the next bell bearing. So now we can purchase 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s. Somber stones. Quite nifty. We're going to sell a bunch of runes and level up.
Well, I took you no matter to lay out your own.
Sell these remembrances. 50,000 for the blasphemous one. So if you want to sell that blasphemous remembrance and get the blasphemous blade again, that mausoleum that I showed you outside of Castle Sol, you can down it, go in and duplicate that remembrance if you want both the blasphemous blade and to get those runes. Let's level up. Take my strength up to 25. We'll get vigor up. Level 100. Very, very nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to warp back to this White Ridge Road. And our next stop is going to be down here for the map fragment. Okay. Basically just follow the path, ignore the enemies. We're not going to go in that fort. Right next to this enemy is a stone sword key. I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. Just on the ground. So this giant chain, it functions as a bridge to the other side. So really there's nothing special about it. It's just a bridge. And there's our map fragment right next to us after we get to the other side. And a side of grace. So we'll get both. There we go. Mountaintop to the Giants East, unlocked. So where we're headed next, right here, we're going to get another Sacred Tier. Right here-ish is going to be a Site of Grace. And then right here, around here is going to be a Golden Seed. So those are our next stops. Now, this church where we're going to get the next Sacred Tier, there's actually going to be an invader that tries to fight us. And once the invader comes, the game will knock you off your horse automatically. You're not going to be able to mount your horse while you're being invaded. This invader is very tough. Killing him gives you a weapon called the Rivers of Blood, which is probably the best blood-based weapon in the game, at least the best blood-based sword in the game. The weapon art that it has triggers bleed damage very quickly. It requires some arcane to equip. We have not leveled up our arcane at all, so you need to probably respec or at least invest some levels into arcane. So we just got kicked off our horse if you want to use it. But if you want to get the Rivers of Blood, you have to kill this invader. I'm going to ignore him. This invader is actually quite tough. I'm going to get this, unlock this grace in case he does kill us. Then we'll respawn at this grace. So he just did the weapon art. But since he's invading us, we can't get back on our horse, so we have to go to this next Site of Grace here on foot. Eventually, he's going to despawn and leave us alone. But for now, we're just headed to this next marker that we put on our map. There it is. Marker was a little bit off, but close enough. Okay, so I'm going to take my marker away. And now we can get on horseback. Go to our third marker, get the gold seed. And there are some big, nasty, powerful enemies up here, so just watch your step. All right, there's our gold seed. And now we want to warp back to that Site of Grace we unlocked. I find that most of the time when I go under here, eventually I should be able to use my map. But it's not letting me. Fortunately, there we go. Now we're going to warp back to the Site of Grace here. And now we're going to fight another major story boss of the game. This is the Fire Giant. This is a very tough boss, not going to lie. Let's cross this little chain bridge here, and this is going to take us to his spot. He's right in front of us. He's going to start with a big attack. Just kind of charge at him on your horse. See that brace on his left leg? His left, our right. Kind of try to jump over that if you can. Sometimes I'm successful, others not so much. So that leg right there is his weak point. So just kind of attack that leg, stay right underneath him. And if you hit it enough times, it's going to break his leg. And it's going to do some pretty solid damage to him. So I tend to fight him more on foot. I'm going to bring my Mimic in now. And I use my horse to close the gap if he goes far away from me. And if you're right underneath him, he might try to hit you with his big shield. Just try to be careful of that. He's gonna stomp. Go. Dodge that attack arc. We just broke his brace, and now he's angry at us. But we're doing huge damage now since we're attacking his weak point. Just rolled away, so I'm going to use my horse to close the gap. Now he's going to do a fire attack. He is the fire giant after all. And let's see. So he lays those giant fireballs down. They will explode if you get close to them. So don't get caught in the explosion. You kind of want to run next to them, let them explode, and then run away as they're about to explode. You can dismount, attack the leg. Once he's at about half health, he's going to transform. And this, see where the fire is on the ground? You want to go between that because you want to go between those spots because the fire will ignite and hurt you. But it gives you a second to kind of see where the flames are going to pop up. I ride my horse to close the gap. He's going to stomp, get back off, hit his leg some more. Now, triggered a second phase. He's actually going to tear his leg off. But I'm still going to get behind him and attack him from behind. I think now his weak spots are technically his hands, but his hands are very hard to hit. So there's his fire attack. Make sure you're away from those spots on the ground where the fire is before the fire blows up. And looks like Mimic just got him staggered, but I'm not going to try to get a critical. It's probably too late, so I'm just going to do a couple specials on him and take advantage of him being down for a sec. So I find it's most effective to kind of stay behind him. So he's going to do his fire attack again. Stay away from where those things are before they actually ignite. See, Mimic took a bit of damage there. Oh, that's an... Oh, dang it. That's an AoE, and you really just need to stay away from him for that. Dang it, that was so close to the end. But, yeah, this one's going to take me a second try. That's okay. Okay, so we're going to try this again, but there's no harm in that. Sometimes bosses take multiple tries. It's all good. So circle around up here, as we did before. Cross this bridge. And for your second try and any subsequent tries, you're going to see a fog gate here. So he's already going to be kind of ready for us. So just charge at him with your horse. Maybe run more to the side so he can't like hit you with that original attack that he does. Well, he's doing it anyway, and he hit me again with it. It's all good. I'm gonna heal up. Get back on my horse. And then once I get close to him, I'm going to summon Mimic. And heal up. And then go to town on that leg. Away from the stomps. Let's see, where'd he go? Oh, there he is. There we go, broke his cast. Gonna do a special on his leg while it's right here. Get on my horse to close the gap. And it looks like he's doing his fireball attack here, so I'm going to go next to it to trigger the fireball explosion, but then run away so the explosion doesn't catch me. There we go. Off my horse. Bail on that leg of his. Try to get away from his stomps. There we go. Got his second phase. Gonna go up behind him here. Is he gonna ignite the ground? Yep, so stay away from those explosion points. Snap. So this, he shoots these fireballs out of his kind of stomach, so run away from him when he does that. I'm gonna get on my horse to close the gap here. Shooting fireballs at my Mimic. Not cool. Is he gonna ignite the ground here? Looks like it. Oh no, that's his fireball. So make sure you run away from those as they explode. Run close enough to trigger the explosion, but then run away so you don't get caught in the explosion. just going to kind of stay behind him. Attack his kind of ankles, even though his ankles are not his weak point right now, but still can do some good damage. And he is susceptible to bleed. So hit him enough times, he will get that bleed damage taken. Which will take away a chunk of his health. Let's see, is he doing... he's doing his fireballs. I'm going to mount my horse here just to trigger the fireballs and run away from him. There we go. And that's the AoE that killed me in the first go-round. Let's see, he's igniting the ground, so stay away from him. Once it's done, I'm going to close in and get some more hits. Nope, he's rolling away from me, so back on horseback. Kind of focusing on that leg stump where he took his leg off. Here we go. All right, and that is the fire giant. So second phase is a little bit trickier, but with enough practice, you should have no trouble getting them. We get the remembrance, get the trophy, get the runes. Good stuff. All right, so up here is a site of grace that we're going to use to level up. And we can upgrade our flask as well. So you take our vigor up, take our strength up. That's all we can do for now. More than fine. All right, so where we're headed next is up here to this giant forge here. See, there's another kind of chain link bridge. We go. Once you get up here, turn to the left, northbound, and then follow the curve. And we have this site of grace, which is going to trigger another conversation with our maiden. And we can talk to her.
This world and death, are you to commit?
Yes, we are ready. And it is time for the Erdtree to burn. Okay, we have set the Erdtree ablaze. We get the trophy for doing so. And we wake up here in crumbling Ferrum Azula. But here is where we're going to stop for now. We're going to tackle this area in the next episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. And I'm really enjoying this playthrough. Hope you guys are too. And I'll catch y'all next time. Take care, everybody.